The stage is set for the championship game of the Senior League World Series here in Easley, South Carolina. It's Pavao Little League from Curacao against Cherry Hill Atlantic Little League from New Jersey in the battle for the Senior League crown here at J.B. Owens Sports Complex. Both teams putting up 12 spots yesterday to get to this championship game. They've combined to outscore their opponents 62-24. In the first three games, these are two outstanding teams. Who will prevail? We are about to find out. Welcome aboard, everybody. Glad to have you with us, along with the former big leaguer Chris Burke. Jim Kane here with you, and it all comes down to this. Curacao and New Jersey, this Cherry Hill Atlantic team, they have been outstanding, looking to make New Jersey a Senior League champ for the third time. 2 wins over Hawaii and a victory over the host team from Easley to get to this point, and Tristan Perry has had an awful lot to do with this team's success.
Yeah, the big first baseman for this Cherry Hill Atlantic club has been swinging a heavy bat this week, a bases clearing double. He leads this team in RBIs with 5, and that got him going last night against the bunch from out west in Hawaii. The offense got rolling. Hawaii's defense did them some favors with 4 freebies in this game, and from that point on, the boys from the East rolled into the championship game looking to finish this thing off here this afternoon.
And meanwhile, Curacao trying to win its third Senior League title, and they're in the championship game for the 8th time, just steamrolling through the field. And Berkey, they've gotten some big swings along the way here in Easley from their number 3 hitter, Deshandro Trump.
Trump he might be the most prospecty kid in this whole event, and there's only been 5 home runs hit this week. Trump has one of them. He can also run too, beating out an infield hit here. You see the long, lean athlete can really pick him up and put him down. And then how about sitting on a hanging breaking ball, launch piece to left field. It's a Curacao team that has scored double digits in every game they've played here this week, so an offense that is clicking on all cylinders.
2 terrific programs. We will step aside, and when we return to Easley, first pitch of the championship game here on ESPN+. A steamy Saturday afternoon here in South Carolina, 90 degrees. The humidity is a little bit on the lower side to what we've seen the last couple of days, but plenty of blue sky and sunshine as we get you set for this championship game here in Easley. A look at the batting order for the Caribbean region champions out of Curacao. It has been the same lineup practically all week long. And Berkey, it's a situation for Quincy Virginia's team where if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
No, let's keep running this group back out there. They've scored 38 runs in 3 games. So same group, same batting order, and this New Jersey club is going to have their hands full because this is a talented team playing with a whole bunch of confidence.
It's a team that has reached double figures in the run column in all 3 games. They have scored a total of 38 runs, a very prolific offense that this right-hander, Aiden Ryder, will try to stop here today. Ryder making his first start of the Senior League World Series. The 16-year-old from Cherry Hill, New Jersey, pitched some big innings for this team. Earlier on in the week on Tuesday, he tossed the final 3 1/3 of New Jersey's walk-off win over the host team from Easley, South Carolina District 1. He did not allow a run. He did give up 3 hits and struck out 2 on 44 pitches. As you see the scouting report, Braden Ryder, seems like we're going to see a lot of maybe secondary stuff. Only tops out at 78, Berkey, so he's going to rely on that changeup and try to keep these Curacao hitters off balance.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see him challenge a ton here in this ballgame. You're going to have to establish strike 1, certainly, but once he does that, I think you'll see plenty of off-speed stuff. Plays center field when he doesn't pitch, but as you said, came in and pitched admirably in relief in a very close game earlier in the week against South Carolina, so he gets to start in this one because of how well he pitched in his prior appearance.
Curly Marta, the first hitter that he will face. Quincy Virginia, the skipper of this Curacao team, told us earlier today that he believes he's most talented and best player on this team. First pitch is grounded left side off the glove of the diving Salisbury and into left. And a good start for Curacao as they have the leadoff man aboard.
Well, it looked like maybe that was a first pitch changeup, something that kind of dove down and in. Marta doing a nice job there, keeping the barrel. See, this is a changeup, maybe just a two-seamer, but even though he's out in front, keeps that barrel moving. Look at him extend that barrel, get it past the diving third baseman, and Curacao off to a fast start.
Marta had one of the biggest swings of Saturday's game. That was a 16-13 extra innings win for this Curacao team over the Netherlands. It was a game in which they led 11-5, but then the Netherlands came back and scored 8 unanswered runs to take the lead. But in the 7th, Marta had a 2-run double to tie it and force extras. Jerdrik Profar, snap throw to first base, and back in there is Marta. But Profar, the youngest brother of big leaguer Jurickson Profar, the left fielder and leadoff man for the Colorado Rockies. Bit of a slow week for Profar offensively, but saw him drive in a run in the 9-run 8th inning yesterday that sent this team to this championship game. Profar turned 16 years of age this past April as he lays off ball 4. Inauspicious start for Ryder, but Curacao with the first 2 aboard.
Yeah, this is not what you're looking for if you're Aiden Ryder here going against a red-hot offense and 2 on, nobody out to get it going.
The defense for Ryder behind him today. Stephen Longo doing the catching. He is not in the lineup. They do have a DH and Ryan Moyer hitting for him. First pitch to Trump's a called strike. Deshandro Trump, who we highlighted off the top, has been the 3-hitter all week for this team and hit one of the 5 home runs that we have seen in this tournament. That came yesterday. And it kicked off the scoring for Curacao. It put them on top 3-1 in the 3rd inning against Mexico. But Mexico ended up tying the game in the bottom of the 7th to force extras. And as we mentioned, a 9 spot for Curacao in the 8th. Down and away, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike, and Longo wants to chat with his hurler.
Yeah, there's a feel that a catcher has for his pitcher when he knows he's maybe a little unsettled out there. And Longo, I think, a very timely visit to try to calm Ryder down. This is a scary dude to be facing with a couple guys on, but at some point you're going to have to challenge in the strike zone.
Grabs the corner with strike 2.
If you can get that one, I would live right there.
Certainly have to be nerves here for Ryder, too, at play. Trying to settle in here early. Off the outside edge, and the count full. Trump is 16. He turned 17 years old in September. One of the most sure-handed infielders on this team. Had a couple of hits on Sunday. Didn't play Tuesday against Australia, but 2 big hits yesterday against Mexico. Down and away, ball 4. And the first 3 have reached for Curacao to load the bases for Payson Riviere. Christian Karkik, the manager, heading out for a mound visit. And Herky, as we talked about, for someone like yourself, who of course has played on the biggest stage in the postseason in the World Series, I got to imagine playing in a championship game like this, even though you've been here all week long, there still are a little bit more nerves than there normally have been in the prior games.
Yeah, I would agree with that. You're waiting around all day to get an opportunity to do something that you'll remember the rest of your life. And even though this team's already accomplished a ton by winning the American side of this bracket, they certainly want to finish it off. And Ryder just doesn't look real sharp here early. Again, another visit there to try to calm him down, dealing with some butterflies here in the first.
He paints the outside corner with strike 1 to Riviere. He has thrown 12 pitches. Only 4 of them have found the zone. Riviere, big intimidating presence in the right-hand box. Will wave and miss at a filthy breaking ball.
That's a good visit, right? You come out, paint a fastball in the corner, drop a deuce in there, and next thing you know, you're ahead in the count for the first time in the ball game.
A bouncer left side, and it gets by Salisbury and into left. Marta scores. Profar in behind him. To third goes Trump, and into second Riviere. So the cleanup man puts the ball in play, and Carousel strikes first.
Well, that stings right there, Jim. That's exactly what you're looking for. A pretty friendly ground ball to third base. You're probably going to go home. I don't know if you're going to get two, but you're going to prevent a run from scoring, and that one just squeaks below the glove of Salisbury. Looks like maybe he thinks that ball's gonna bounce. Got caught a little in between hops there, and wow, that is an unfortunate mistake for New Jersey.
We've talked so much about the prolific offenses that both of these teams have. Their defense has been pretty darn good as well. Each team has only made 3 errors over their first 3 games coming in, but a costly miscue for Salisbury at the hot corner. Leads to 2 early runs for the Caribbean Regional champs. Clay Winklar takes a breaking ball for a called strike.
Well, Jim, you think about just how talented this Curacao lineup is, and between the air and the 2 walks, you've already given them 3 free bases. That's a tough formula against the team that's got this much talent.
This is pulled into left field and down for a base hit. Trump scores from third. Riviere moves to third. RBI knock for the Carousel center fielder, and it's a 3-0 lead.
That's just a nice job right there of extending the bat. Look at that pitch is way out and over the plate, but he waits on it just long enough. A breaking ball up, but he just extends that barrel through the front part of the zone, dumps it into left field. Curacao just keeps it rolling.
Winklar has been extremely productive. He now leads the team with 7 runs batted in 4 games this week. Hit the second of 2 3-run blasts yesterday for this Curacao team. They are at it early. So Adrian Martinez sends this one to center field, and that's a base hit. Riviere in from the back doors. They go station to station. And Carousel jumping all over New Jersey here in the first.
Wow. You give them some free passes, then they get the confidence going. And now Ryder, that one, again, not necessarily over the plate, but up. That's back-to-back pitches that have just been up. And right now, Curacao is getting the bats rolling after getting some free passes earlier in this frame.
You give a team like this an inch, they will take a mile, and that's certainly what they have done so far in the first. 7th man to bat, it's Nathan Castillo. As this has all happened in just 20 pitches for Aiden Ryder. Blitz of this offense for Curacao. Castillo with a wave and a miss.
It's interesting. I know they're mostly right-handers to this point, actually all righties to this point, but we have not seen the changeup from Ryder. It's been fastball, curveball to this point.
Another curveball. This is lined towards the gap in left center field. That's in for a base hit, and it could score 2. Winklar in, being held at third. Martinez trotting to second. Castillo, and Curacao relentless here in this first inning.
Wow, this is impressive. I mean, just barrel after barrel here again after maybe a little bit of a slower start. The last 3 hitters have gone liner to liner, and this one was the hardest hit of them all into the gap. I got a
Quincy
pitching change here, Jim.
Yeah, Quincy Virginie certainly happy with how his team has come out here early. And we will indeed have a pitching change as Ryder cannot record it out, but what a start for this Carousel offense. 7 batters in, no outs recorded. They have scored 5 runs, and they have 2 more in scoring position. Andrew Bechtel taking over on the hill. was this team's shortstop and now comes in to try to stop this bleeding for New Jersey here in the first inning.
Well, Ryder took over for Bechtel in that South Carolina game we alluded to earlier. And now Bechtel gets a chance to take over for Ryder, the shortstop who is really, really steady and influence for this defense. Now gets a chance to take the ball and try to calm this offense down from Curacao, who is red hot right now.
Christian Karki calls Andrew Bechtel a leader both on and off the field. And he told us earlier today that Andrew might be the best defensive shortstop that he's ever been around at this age. And there's a great story with Andrew that goes back to the regionals up in Bangor, Maine, where back on July 22nd, he was hit in the face with a ground ball that came up and took a tough hop that sent him to the emergency room. And despite what was a pretty gruesome scene, he suffered no structural damage to his jaw, teeth, no concussion. His teammates certainly very concerned. They showed up at the hospital, but the very next day, he came in as a pinch runner, and then they had to win 2 games over Pennsylvania in the finals on the 24th. He played all 14 innings, and in the last one, he had the walk-off double to send this team to Easley. And now is summoned in a huge spot in this game, as you see Ryder taking over in center field. Not the start New Jersey was looking for, as there's strike one from the right-hander. Christian Mohan has been the catcher all week. Yesterday in the international final against Mexico, he was 1 for 4 as he takes strike 2 from Bechtel. 15-year-old turned 16 in December. He's been the 8-hitter in the backstop throughout this entire tournament, and he takes strike 3 from Bechtel, who picks up a K with a hook.
Boy, they needed that, didn't they, Jimmy? That's a big-time breaking ball right there. And Bechtel comes in from shortstop, razor sharp, landing that breaking ball right off the outside edge, and a huge first out here for New Jersey.
9th batter of the inning, Ferenc Wouters. Quincy Virginie says that he loves having Ferenc at the bottom of the order, sort of acting like a second leadoff hitter of sorts. So this pitch is up and behind the helmet, but you hear that a lot, especially in the big leagues, minor leagues, that you love having guys at the bottom of the order that can get on base and really turn things over for the top of the lineup and get on base for the big boppers at the top.
Yeah, I'd say Wouters has done that, right? 8 for 12. You kidding me? Coach would take that out of the 3-hole, much less at the bottom.
Waves and misses, and Andrew Bechtel comes in and picks up huge punch-outs for the first 2 outs of the inning.
It was interesting just watching his warm-up pitches. He threw a ton of breaking balls. You could tell he is feeling that pitch right now. A big left-hand turn as that one got to home plate.
Christian Karki calls him the number 2 pitcher in their rotation. Andrew Bechtel paints a fastball on the outside edge here to Curly Marta, as Curacao has batted around here in the first. Marta on the ground towards short, and that is bobbled, and 2 more runs will score. Martinez and Castillo cross the plate, and it's a 7 spot in the first for Curacao.
Well, one of the tough things when you bring your shortstop into pitch is you got number 2 out there at shortstop, and this one looks like it's going to get him off the field. Bechtel comes in, throws a ton of strikes, and boy, Brody Connors just looked like that ball bounced up on him at the last second.
Now they've got the runner picked off between first and second base. The tag applied. Oh, Bechtel dropped it, has to throw to first with a catcher covering, and they do get Marta to finally bring an end to the top of the first. 10 batters, 7 of them score. An offensive explosion for Curacao as New Jersey tries to respond. An offensive avalanche for Curacao as they put up 7 runs in the top of the first. So New Jersey will try to answer. Aiden Ryder, who did not record it out but is still in this game as a center fielder and leading things off as he's done in all 4 games now. Bechtel, Salisbury, Macri is the dangerous cleanup man. Tristan Perry, we highlighted off the top. Ryan Moyer, the DH. Austin Haney, Carter Gill, Eric Brown. They will face Kevin Rosina, who is pitching for the 4th time in 4 games of the Senior League World Series, Berkey, and making his 2nd start, and this guy has been nails.
Yeah, no problem taking the ball. 8 hits in 9 innings, but 13 punch-outs. Kind of a 3/4 arm slot. You'll see that ball really run to the arm side with a really good breaking ball as well.
Misses outside with his first 2 offerings to Aiden Ryder. So still very early as New Jersey tries to bounce back. And Ryder takes a strike at the top of the zone. A wave and a miss, and a count even 2-2. Ryder is such a fascinating story. He almost quit baseball his freshman year to dedicate himself solely to soccer, but it was a soccer coach who refused to let him do that, encouraged him to continue playing both sports. And he's lucky that he did. The strikeout victim against Rosina for the first out.
Well, you'd love to hear that. A high school coach encouraging a kid to play multiple sports. Too many times it feels like we're hearing the opposite scenario these days, but that was a perfect example of the movement and the life of the fastball in Rosina. A bunch of arm side run that these New Jersey hitters are going to have to deal with all afternoon.
Andrew Bechtel tips this foul. But when you look at the scouting report that Quincy Virginie filled out about Kevin Rosina, one of the questions is, how would you describe his repertoire on the mound? And his answer was like Greg Maddux. That's interesting.
Yeah, well, I think he's that's what he's talking about. All the run on that 2-seam fastball, just like that. That thing will tie you up and run at your knuckles. And for right-handers, you really have to get the ball away because the ball that starts in is going to end up on your shins or your belt buckle. So you got to really try to push the ball away from you and then use the middle of the field.
A bouncer towards short. Marta up with it. And he guns low to first, but Riviere scoops it for the 2nd out. Zach Salisbury now as Kevin Rosina looks for a shutdown inning after his offense just plated 7 runs for him. Berkey, you're talking about as a right-hand hitter, which as you were during your career, how tough was that to try to make that adjustment and look for balls away and not give up on them if you're a right-hand hitter on that 2-seamer?
Yeah, it definitely takes some experience because you just don't see, at this age, you don't see a ton of guys that can make the baseball move at the level that Rosina can. So, early in my career when I faced a sinker baller, I was always trying to pull it. Then you get a couple bruises on your shin and on your ankle, and you go, you know what? I'm going to try to quit swinging at that pitch in and get the ball away. The other thing that's tough for right-handed hitters is the release point, because it's kind of sidearm-ish. It'll make you sometimes open up your front side and pull off the ball, and then you feel like that fastball away is a mile off the plate. So it's a very tough look, especially for these youngsters.
Inside, and it hits Salisbury. Well, that 2-seamer certainly had a lot of arm side run, and a 2-out base runner for New Jersey.
What we haven't seen yet is the breaking ball off of it, but you see there's that life to the fastball that just flies out of his hand running in towards right-hand hitters. Where it really gets tough, Jim, is when righties can throw that bowling ball sinker and then spin that breaking ball out of the same arm slot and make it turn 2 different directions. That'll make you end up in a broadcast booth.
Luciano Macri now with Salisbury at first. Arguably the most dangerous hitter in this New Jersey order. Skies this one to right. Castillo sizes it up, and he puts it away to retire the side. No runs, no hits, and a man left for New Jersey. Go to the second here in Easley in the championship game. Good start for Curacao. The Little League Community Heroes Recognition Program helps to honor those dedicated individuals who not only volunteer their time at local Little League programs, but also contribute in other ways to improve their communities. To learn more or to nominate a community hero, visit littleleague.org/communityheroes. Second inning of the Senior League World Series Championship. And that ball is struck to center, and it's down for a base hit for Yurdrik Profar. So just like they started the top of the first inning with a leadoff knock, Curacao is back at it again.
Well, that's a familiar tune from what we saw in the first inning. A pitch out over the plate and a line drive to the outfield. Curacao is flexing their muscles here in this one.
A big swing and a miss from Deshandro Tromp. That was their 5th hit already. They had 14 hits yesterday in the international final against Mexico, half of which came in the 8th inning, the extra inning they needed. Grounded toward short, could be 2. Connors goes to second for 1. Brown's relay to first. Not in time, it pulls Perry off the bag.
Well, they had a shot there, right? Just pulls him off the base here at first base. The turn from Brown, and Perry doing a nice job of making sure that ball doesn't get by him and end up with extra bases for Tromp. But nevertheless, retiring 1 there with Tromp up to bat is a small victory.
It certainly is. Pickoff throw to first, keeping tabs on Tromp. In addition to the hits, Curacao, they've been active on the base paths as well. They stole 4 bases yesterday, 10 in 3 games coming in, and haven't been caught. Second most in this tournament behind the Netherlands. They swiped 12 bags here this week.
Now, do we call Marta being picked off a caught stealing, or are you calling that a caught stealing or a picked off?
Oh. Probably both. That's a good point.
I think if you get thrown out going back to the base, it's not a caught stealing. I think. As somebody that's maybe had that happen a few times in my life, I feel like that's the rule.
Uvier reached on an error by the third baseman Salisbury that brought in a couple of runs last inning. Another throw to first. Close, but just back in there, according to first base umpire Alex Hufford.
Well, anytime you get a shortstop on the mound like you have here with Bechtel, you got to be aware of a good move.
It's sharply up the middle, a base hit for Riviere. Second hit of the inning. Curacao with 2 aboard with only 1 out.
Well, it's a nice piece of hitting here. Fastball out over the plate and just a really flat move to the back of the baseball. Rocket up the middle off the bat of Riviere. And now Winkler, who's a pretty intimidating presence, gets his chance. A part of the lineup that hit 3 straight line drives the last time they had their chance.
Yeah, you ain't kidding about the size of Winkler. He is 6'1", weighs 197 pounds, and he's 16 years old. Did you look like that at 16?
No, I'm still trying to get there.
Fisted to center. Ryder moves over. He makes the grab. 2 down in the second. So Bechtel trying to get through this unscathed. He had to come in with nobody out in the first inning after the first 7 reach for Curacao. Struck out a couple of batters. Now deals with Chandrian Martinez. Grounds this one foul. This Curacao team just steamrolled through the competition at the Caribbean Regional Tournament. They went undefeated in Willemstad. They were 7-0. This is a line to left field. That's a base hit for Martinez. Tromp being sent to the plate. Relay throw bounces away. Riviere trying to get to third. He does, and trotting to second, Martinez. Curacao keeping its foot on the gas pedal here in the second inning.
Yeah, and you know, the breaking ball from Bechtel has been really good east to west, but that one had a little north to south, and it kind of just hung in the middle of the plate. Didn't make that left turn we've seen from him early in his outing, and a relay throw that gets away allows this Curacao team to take an extra 90 on each side of the base pass as they keep it going.
On the ground to third, and Salisbury's up with it and guns it across the diamond to retire the side. But another run across for Curacao. They've got 8 on the board through an inning and a half here at Easley. Australia in the house. All these teams have stuck around. The Boxing Kangaroo even making an appearance here at JB Owen Sports Complex. As we go to the bottom half of the second inning, Jim Kane and Chris Burke with you here on ESPN+. Curacao out to an 8-0 lead as New Jersey tries to climb out of this hole. Tristan Perry, the 5-hitter, will climb in and get things going in the bottom of the second. Perry was terrific yesterday in the U.S. Championship game against Hawaii. 12-2 the final in that ball game in which the run rule was implemented after 5. That sails high and away. It's 2-0. Christian Karkik, the manager of this team, calls him one of the most clutch players I've ever been around and describes his play during the regionals as the laser show. I think Dustin Pedroia might have something to say about that.
Yeah, I thought he patented that line, but that's what you want people to say about your BPs.
Outside, and that is ball 4. So a good start to the bottom of the second as New Jersey gets the leadoff man aboard. That brings up Ryan Moyer, the DH. And let's see if New Jersey can kickstart the offense. Moyer takes a strike over the heart of the plate, and this is a big, intimidating presence. 6'3", 215 pounds is Ryan Moyer. His nickname is Moose. And his manager says sneaking fastballs by him is like trying to sneak the sun by a rooster. As he shoots this up the middle for a base hit. Perry to second. A good start to the second inning for New Jersey.
Well, there you go. Couple early base runners. Moyer keeps it going, and maybe we're in for a slugfest here. You never say never. Still early in the ballgame. This New Jersey team, this is how you get it going, right? Just get the first couple guys on, start chipping away.
That was the 4th base hit of this tournament for Ryan Moyer. Austin Haney, who has dazzled on the mound twice this week for this team. A complete game on Sunday. Gave up 1 run on 7 hits, no walks, and 4 punch-outs in New Jersey's win over Hawaii. And then did it again to the Central East Maui Little League team yesterday. 5 innings, of course, with the run rule in effect. Still the complete game in 5. 2 runs and fanned 4. He grounds this weekly toward short. Marta flips to second. Profar slings it to first, and it's in time for the double play. That was slick for the middle infielders for Curacao.
Yeah, that's a big-time double play. It looked like maybe Marta would take it himself. But this is trusting your double play partner right here. Just an easy flip to Profar, who finishes it off just ahead of Hanny getting into first base, and a big double play here in the bottom of the second.
Perry to third. A bouncer down the line. Charging his Trump, but he bobbles it, and a run scores. As Perry comes in, and New Jersey's on the board here in the second.
Little swinging bunt here. There's that two-seamer that Gill just rolls right over the top of, and Trump probably has a play here if he can field it and throw it accurately, but certainly a tough chance there for the Curacao third baseman as that ball just squeaks out of his control on the transfer.
They have ruled it a single, so it's an RBI. That's Brody Connors, and now it's Eric Brown, and he watches strike one clip the corner from Rosina. Brown made his first start of the Senior League World Series last night, and the move paid off for Christian Karkik as he taps this left side. Trump, a chance for redemption, and he makes this play to retire the side. New Jersey gets on the board, and they cut the deficit to 7 as we move to the third here in Easley. To the third we go in the Senior League title game. Your JB Owen Sports Complex. It's an 8-1 lead for Curacao. The distances between both Curacao and Cherry Hill, New Jersey, over 1,700 miles away is the Dutch Caribbean island of about 150,000. Meanwhile, Cherry Hill, New Jersey, a town in South Jersey, it's nearly 700 miles from where we are here in Easley. Gershon Mohan will lead things off. It's 8-9-1 in the Curacao order. A lineup that put up 7 runs in the first inning. Got another in the second. Mohan was the first batter that Bechtel faced as he drills this into left center field. That'll get down. It's going to roll to the wall. Mogan on his way to second base, and he stops there with a leadoff double. Gershon Mohan from the 8th spot. An extra base hit to begin the third.
Yeah, couldn't solve the breaking ball problem his first time around against Bechtel, but gets a fastball down in the zone here and drops the head on a bullet into left center field. A nice swing of the bat right there by Mohan. His Curacao offense just doesn't quit.
It's their 8th hit and 3rd of this tournament for Mohan in his first extra base hit. Coming into this game, Curacao as a team 10 extra base hits, and they hit 2 home runs. There have only been 5 home runs hit in this entire tournament. It's the 9-hitter Ferenc Wouters. A strikeout victim his first time against Bechtel. 16-year-old takes a breaking ball that bends in for a strike. He doesn't play other sports competitively, but he says he's pretty good at ping pong. Ping pong is something that I was, well, Berkey, never able to figure out, but I'm sure that you would be much better than me if you and I were to go mano a mano.
Jimmy, you got to get your ping pong game right if you ever come to the Burke House, because you'll get challenged like on your way in the door around here.
Challenge accepted as Wouters goes down by way of the K for the second time.
Well, Wouters was red hot coming in this ball game, 8 for 12, but he has had no answers to the breaking ball of Bechtel in this ball game. He is not seeing the spin on that breaking ball very well. You see Bechtel continues to change the shape on that breaking ball. That's the bender that's more top to bottom, and he can also throw that sweeper as well.
This is hit sharply through the left side and into left field. Mohan held at third as Martha collects another hit And here goes Curacao yet again.
Traffic on for the top of this order is big-time problems for the boys from New Jersey, because this is a top of the order playing with a bunch of confidence right now and really playing with momentum.
From a hitter's perspective, you're talking about the different shapes on the breaking ball. From a hitter's mindset, are you just looking at that pitch as two different pitches, a curveball and then a slider? As this is lifted to left, Haney moves over, and he'll make the grab. Mohan is tagging, and the throw is cut off. So a sac fly for Profar, and a 9th run on the board for Curacao.
Yeah, I think that's right, Jim. I think you'd say, I'd probably characterize one as a curveball and one as a slider. Of course, the modern term, which I'm sure you're using a lot in your AAA games, is sweeper, right? That's very in vogue pitch that people are describing the bigger, more horizontal break on some of these sliders that guys are throwing. Of course, Ohtani's breaking ball is often categorized as that.
Pickoff throw got away, and Martha moves to second.
But I think most pitchers that have some feel are able to change the shape and trajectory of their breaking ball. And who knows, with Bechtel, he might just be messing around there from pitch to pitch.
Popped up down the line, but it slices foul. So a break for New Jersey there. Yeah, there are so many different types of breaking balls and off-speed pitches that you hear of. There is a guy, I believe he's in the Mets minor league system, who throws a churve, is what he calls it. It's a combo of a changeup and a curveball. A strike at the top of the zone, 1 and 2.
A churve? Okay. Learn something new every day.
Certainly do. Just off the outside edge. Bechtel wanted it. Yeah, it's Joey Lucchesi of the Syracuse Mets, New York's AAA team. Came over from the Padres. Throws a churve. Hammered to left field. Haney moving over. He won't get there. Another run in as Martha trots home to second with a double goes Trump. And this offensive avalanche continues for Curacao.
The churve might have been the pitch Bechtel should have gone with right there, as you see him not too happy on the result of the curve that he just threw Mr. Trump, a breaking ball that really just kind of hung out over the middle of the plate. And boy, Trump's some kind of hitter. He can make you pay when you make mistakes.
Trump yesterday in the international final drove in 3 runs, all on that 3-run blast, and a couple of hits as well. This is fouled back by Payson Riviere. So a 9-run margin here in the 3rd inning of the Senior League World Series title game. This is the 8th time that Curacao has been in this championship. A late swing and a foul. And when you look at the history, they have won this Senior League World Series twice, back in 2002 and then again in 2018. Pariba Little League and Pabao, those are the 2 perennial powerhouses that come out of Curacao and are usually in both the Little League World Series and here in this Senior League World Series, and easily. In fact, there are a lot of players on this team.
Yeah, this is a group that won the international side of the Little League World Series back in 2019 as 12-year-olds, right? Lost to a team from Hawaii in the World Championship game, so they're no stranger to big events.
A lot of experience. That one up near the eyes of Riviere as he fouls it off. tapped foul. And nearly half of this roster was on that 2019 team in Williamsport. A lot of guys performing very well in that tournament. And doing the same here this year in Easley. Riviere chops it towards the hill. Yeah, Bechtel tosses to first to retire the side. But a pair in for Curacao, and the lead is 9 as we head to the home half of the third. History will be made this August as professional softball comes to Greenville, North Carolina for the first ever Athletes Unlimited Pro Games at the Little League Softball World Series on August 8th and 9th. Learn more at littleleague.org/athletesunlimited. Jim Kane and Chris Burke with you from Easley. The championship game of the Senior League World Series. It's been all Curacao so far as New Jersey with the top of their order. Trying to get a rally going against Kevin Rosina, who threw 16 pitches in the first, 9 of them strikes, 16 tosses in the second, 9 of those for strikes. And he jumps ahead 0-2 on Aiden Ryder. The lone strikeout victim for the right-hander so far. And make it 2 as he paints the outside edge with strike 3 for the first out of the inning.
Have we seen a breaking ball yet from Rosina? I don't even know that we have. I think it's just been almost exclusively two-seam fastballs, and you know there's been a few wild ones in there, but for the most part he's filled up the strike zone and produced a ton of ground balls.
Another one here, and it's a fair ball knocked down by Trump, but has time to recover, and he throws out Bechtel. That's a great job by Deshandro Trump, not panicking and picking the ball up calmly and still having time to get the out.
Yeah, sometimes at third base you just got to be a hockey goalie. Just wear it. Don't panic. Pick up the baseball and trust yourself that you got enough time to finish it off. That one, the backhand just kind of pops out of his glove, but enough arm strength to still get Bechtel getting down the line.
The shades of Manny Machado. I believe that was at Yankee Stadium a couple of years ago, going into foul ground near the coach's box where he slung it on a line to first. Tremendous arm strength for Trump there. Zach Salisbury hit by a pitch his first time. Will try to start the rally with 2 down. Cuts and misses. Looked like a breaking ball there.
I was just about to say, I think that was our first one. The way this game has been played for 1,000 years, if you hit a foul home run, Jim, the next pitch is a breaking ball. Like, that's just the way it goes. And maybe 2. Never is it a safer time to sit breaking ball than after you hit a fastball foul for a homer.
Strike 3 called. A paint job on the outside black. And Kevin Rosina retires the side in order here in the third.
Ooh, that was kind of dirty, Jimmy. Just a paint piece off the outside edge. The boys from Curacao are rocking and rolling in this one.
Packed house here in Easley at the J.B. Owen Sports Complex, this beautiful facility here in South Carolina. The staff here has been tremendous all week long. We had, of course, the bad weather that came through on Thursday, washed out all the games. As Winkler sends this down the line. Winkler rounds first. He'll throw the brakes on there. Curacao. Man, Berkey, they just don't stop offensively.
No, you know, usually you get off to this kind of start. At some point, there's a lull. And what I've been impressed by with this Curacao team is how well they've handled the breaking ball. Salisbury did all he could to try to keep that one in front. Winkler is held to just a single, but Bechtel's done a really nice job of landing the break ball. Heck, we saw Ryder throw a bunch of breaking balls. This Curacao team is all over the spinners.
Got 11 hits now. They've had the leadoff man aboard in all 4 innings. Martinez has been right in the thick of it as Bechtel checks on Winklar. In this Curacao offense, 38 runs in the first 3 games of this tournament. Got the double digits and the run column in all 3 of those games. Tap towards short. Brown to second for 1. Connors is returned to first, not in time. Martinez aboard on a fielder's choice.
We'll make it 4, right? Now double digits in all 4 of the games they've played here in Easley.
And again, you go back to
probably not a normal accomplishment since Little League started using USA bats. That's a pretty crazy number to put up offensively.
And again, to go back to the Caribbean Regional Tournament in Willemstad, they scored at least 10 runs in 6 of the 7 games they played. The only time they didn't reach double digits was the championship game. A high fly ball towards the gap. Macri moves over to make the play, and there are 2 down.
Well, even though you had a leadoff base hit, a couple guys retired now, and a chance to post the first 0 of the day here for Cherry Hill Atlantic. That ball right there was hit pretty well, but not enough juice to get over the right fielder Macri's head.
In putting up the first 0, like you said, you have to start somewhere if you're New Jersey. You have to take the small steps. You're not going to get everything back in one swing. So putting up a 0 on the board is the first step as they try to stay alive. Hooked on the ground to third. It's backhanded by Salisbury, and his long throw across the diamond is there in time, and there indeed is the first 0 put up by New Jersey today. But they've got some work to do offensively as they trail by 9 here in Easley. Well, it's a scorching Saturday afternoon here in Easley. Fans trying to stay cool. It's been hard to cool off this Curacao offense. They've got a 10 spot on the board here in the 4th inning as New Jersey will come to bat. See the temperature 90 degrees, but as we said off the top, it's not as humid as it's been the last couple of days. We had some bad weather come through and washed out all the games on Thursday, and that prompted a quadruple header yesterday. Had a couple of teams having to play twice as Luciano Macri leads things off in the home 4th. It's the middle 3rd of this Cherry Hill Atlantic Little League lineup. Macri flew out his first time. New Jersey with only 2 hits. Both of them came in the 2nd inning as Macri with a high fly to right. Has some carry to it as Castillo has enough real estate, though, to make the play. Well, Kevin Rosina, Berkey, he has been absolutely dealing so far through 3 1/3.
Yeah, that's what we've seen a ton of, is that arm side fastball, and then this glove side fastball here is really tough on the right-handed hitters. We've seen a whole bunch of balls beaten to the ground to the left side of the infield. He's working quick. He's throwing a ton of strikes and getting a lot of movement on that 2-seam fastball.
Fly ball swatted foul off the bat of Tristan Perry, and as we've talked about, it's mostly been 4-seamer and 2-seamer, which is what Quincy Virginie said was going to be the case in the pitch mix for Rosina. I've seen only a handful of breaking balls. He hasn't needed it.
No, just fill up that zone with that fastball that's diving away from lefties and diving in on righties. Nobody's really been able to square him up.
Tristan Perry has scored the only run for New Jersey. It came after he walked to lead off the second. Fouls this one straight back. Perry turned 16 years old 2 weeks ago. He's also a football player. Certainly looks like it. Strike three called. A backdoor breaking ball. That was filthy from Rosina.
We started talking about pitches that'll put you in the booth right here. Jimmy, this is a part of the zone where as a left-handed hitter, if that ball starts on that outside corner, you're just taking it right out of his hand unless he can bend it back the other way, and then you're left frozen, which is exactly what happened right there to Mr. Perry. Is Rosina just paints a breaking ball on the outer edge.
He has thrown 50 pitches now, and 32 of them have been strikes. I mean, he is in cruise control. Moyer fouls it off himself, and it's 0-2, and it seems like all day long these New Jersey hitters have not been able to get ahead. Rosina's just pounded the zone. Strike three on the outside corner. An absolute pitching clinic put on here so far for Kevin Rosina. He has retired the last 7 in a row. Back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings to send us to the 5th here in the championship game. Through 4 innings, it's a 10-1 lead for Curaçao here in the Senior League World Series championship game at J.B. Owen Sports Complex. Little League would like to extend a special thank you to its official sponsors like AIG Travel Guard and AD Star Baseballs. These companies provide year-round support to the Little League program, helping to create opportunities and experiences for families and communities. Little League would also like to thank its dedicated volunteers who make the program a special experience for millions of children around the world. A 5-minute hydration break as we reset. We'll be back with the 5th inning right after this. Fifth inning here at J.B. Owen Sports Complex. It's the championship game of the Senior League World Series. We're on to the 5th. It's 10-1 Curaçao. Jim Kane and Chris Burke with you. And Berkey, I go back to our chat with Quincy Virginie, the skipper of this Curaçao team. It's funny, you had said, so this is how you always do this, right? You put up a ton of runs. Is this how you win every game? And he said, yeah, pretty much. Offense is our calling card. And boy, that's exactly what's played out here in this title game.
Yeah, and it's been from the jump, right? 7 in the first. The first 7 batters reached base and all scored. And from that point, they really haven't let up. Now, last inning, they did go 3 up, 3 down. So let's see if New Jersey can keep some of that momentum going.
We have a new pitcher on the mound for New Jersey. It's Brody Goldfarb. And Ryder's at second base now. Aiden Ryder was the starting pitcher in this contest for New Jersey, but did not record it out as the first 7 Curaçao hitters reached. 9-1-2 here in the 5th. And Brody Goldfarb has missed with the first 2 offerings. Carter Gill is in center field. That's where he began the game. Big breaking ball drops in for a strike. Wouters is really the only hitter that hasn't done anything to this point for Curaçao. He is 0-for-2 with 2 swinging strikeouts, both coming on Andrew Bechtel curveballs. Bechtel went 4. A lot of hooks here for Goldfarb to begin his outing.
Yeah, it looks like the book is out quickly here with Goldfarb. They're going straight to the breaking ball. Of course, Wouters has struck out his first 2 ABs on breaking balls. So no big surprise there. But if you're going to keep this game alive, keep it under that 10-run margin, you really want to get the leadoff hitter here.
Wooters chops it left side. It's gloved by Bechtel, and his throw to first is in time. And there's one away in the fifth. And yeah, that's something to keep in mind. The run rule could be in play here. If Curacao can get another run and make this a 10-run margin, New Jersey will have a chance in the bottom of the fifth. But we'll see how this plays out here. Back to the top of the order now, Curly Marta. In the dirt for ball one. Table setter at the top of the order. Couple of singles. He shoots this towards the gap in left center field. That's a base hit. It's going to roll towards the wall. Marta darting around first. Takes a turn at second, but will stop there on his third hit of this contest.
Boy, and they just keep taking advantage of breaking balls. This is a team that just does a really nice job throughout the lineup of seeing, watch the recognition here as he does that little toe tap. There's just that slight, watch this gather right here, just a slight gather as the foot lands, and then the ability to keep the barrel in the zone. Terrific pitch recognition right there by Marta, who is having himself one heck of a afternoon.
He came into this game with 3 hits in the first 3 games, and he has matched that total here today. Jurdric Profar has certainly done his part from the 2 spot. He taps this one foul. He has walked, he has singled, driven in a run with a sac fly. He's also scored one of the 10 runs for Curacao. Back in double digits for a 4th time here in Easley. In the dirt and smothered by Longo.
Longo has done a fantastic job behind the plate. I mean, he has really, really done a nice job back there, keeping that ball in front of him.
Another great stop here.
I mean, you can just tell there's a ton of athleticism back there. He's probably stolen a couple of strikes for his pitching staff with his ability to receive some of those breaking balls.
Christian Karkik, the skipper, says he's one of this team's cornerstones. Thinks he calls a great game. Stephen takes a lot of pride in the nuances of catching. The payoff. Inside and low, ball 4. Third walk handed out by New Jersey. And 2 on for Curacao as Deshandro Trump, dangerous hitter who hit a 3-run home run yesterday. Berkey, he has been doing it again today.
Boy, and there's another hanging breaking ball that gets hammered. Yesterday, the 3-run homer was on a breaking ball. This one, an RBI double on a breaking ball. We'll see how they try to attack him here, but be careful if you hang the soft stuff.
This is high and away with that hook. The line for Trump. Against Goldfarb, he shoots this one foul, first base side. This is the first appearance on the hill for Brody Goldfarb. Turning to him here, he is the youngest player on this team. He is 14 years old. He'll turn 15 in September. His first action this week. Certainly a tough spot for the young southpaw.
Yeah, welcome to the tournament.
No kidding. Against this gauntlet of a lineup that is Curacao. Trump with a big hack, and he fouls it back. Curacao looking to claim its 3rd Senior League championship. Outside, and the count runs full. 3-2. Trump takes in the dirt for ball 4. Back-to-back walks, and Curaçao's got him loaded. Obviously a very tough spot for Goldfarb as Christian Karki jogs out for a mound visit here, and he's going to make a move. Goldfarb comes out, and a new arm taking over on the hill for New Jersey. The 9-run game, trying to keep it that way. Here in the Senior League Championship game, Cole Haddock gets the ball from his skipper. Comes into a bases-loaded one-out jam here in the 5th. We'll step aside and return to action in Easley right after this. Cole Haddock, the 15-year-old, takes over. It's his first pitching appearance of the Senior League World Series. He has gotten into the prior 3 games as a pinch runner for this team. He willed Cherry Hill into the East Regional Championship up in Bangor, Maine, with a big performance on the mound during an elimination game. So certainly has the experience. But is summoned into a bases-loaded jam with 1 away in the 5th. He faces the dangerous cleanup hitter, Payson Riviere. 1 out of 3 so far today, Riviere. Upstairs for ball 1. Infield is in for New Jersey, trying to cut down this runner at the plate. Big swing and a miss. Eyes got a little too big that time for Riviere.
Yeah, just looking for a pitch up in the zone, something you can drive through that drawn-in infield, and he went chasing on a pitch almost over his bill of his cap.
High and tight for ball 2. Marches at 3rd, Profar's at 2nd, and Trump, the runner, at 1st. Fouled away, and it's 2-2. So he's been living up in the zone. Does he dare try to go downstairs and change the eye level?
I think he was trying to throw a breaking ball down right there, but that one just kind of hung up around the letters of Riviere. That one hit him. Oh, it hit the bat? Oh, wow, knob of the bat. I don't know about that. Boy, the hitter didn't argue at all, though. He wants to hit. It did not look like it hit the knob of the bat. That was odd.
Swing and a miss. Pitch around his eyes. Clearly wanted to stay in there and hit, but he's down by way of the K.
Boy, that'll frustrate you if you're a head coach. I don't know about that ball hitting the knob of his. Did you see the strikeout the other day that hit off the knob of the bat and ricocheted into the catcher's lap?
Yeah.
Probably the oddest strikeout I've ever seen.
So with 2 down, Clay Winklar digs in. Really 1 through 9. The guys who step into the batter's box, just the intimidating presence.
Well, we'll see here if Haddock's able to command the baseball, because really he got Riviere to strike out. Well, I'm not certain he threw him a strike.
There's a strike that clips the corner. Winklar's 2 for 3. He drove in a run with a single in the 7-run first inning for Curaçao. There's a good hook that drops in for strike 2.
Yeah, back-to-back really nice pitches. Fastball off the corner and then a front door breaking ball.
Paddock trying to leave the bases loaded. Hit sharply back up the middle. It's into center field. Marta comes in. Profar across the plate as well. It's a 2-run knock for Winkler. He's got 3 RBIs, and it's an 11-run lead.
Boy, and Haddock had a chance right there. Got ahead in the count, 1-2 count, trying to go off the plate. Look at Longo. Look how far out Longo's set up, but a fastball that catches too much of the plate, and Winkler makes him pay with a rocket right back up the middle, and just like that, an 11-run lead for Curacao.
A high fly ball to left field. Haney going back. That ball's over his head. Trump scores easily. Winkler being sent to the plate from first. There will not be a throw. Back-to-back 2-run hits. Winkler and now Martinez. And it's a 13-run Curacao lead.
Boy, Winkler. Tough to figure out who the player of the game is in this one. Jimmy Winkler, look, he kind of took his time there to admire this one. A really flat move through the back of that baseball, but almost hit it too much on the line, not enough to get it up and over the wall. Nevertheless, a 2 RBI double, and Curacao pouring it on.
And this is not even a high in terms of runs that they have scored here this week. Remember, they scored 16 runs. They needed extra innings to do so, but they played at 16 against the Netherlands. I don't know if those guys are happy about it on those popsicle sticks.
There's a story there somewhere, Jim.
There sure is. Bouncing ball that hits off his foot. You've seen a little bit of everything here in this tournament. The Mexico fan base with the rosary beads and the photos and the instruments too. They've got the drums, and Mexico made a lot of noise, but a lot of different props and flags and paraphernalia and whatnot in the stands over the course of the last week. Brave in the heat today. Get 90 degrees at first pitch. There is Team Mexico. High and tight look out Castillo. Castillo had an RBI double in the first. Curacao has scored in all but one of the 5 innings here today. Rip towards left. Haney will make the play, and that'll retire the side. So we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, and Curacao with a 13-run advantage here in the championship. To the bottom of the 5th inning we go here at Easley. And it's a 13-run lead, and Curacao 3 defensive outs away from being crowned Senior League champions. Can Kevin Rosina nail down the final 3 outs? A pinch hitter here for New Jersey, and Austin Haney's spot in the order. McGoldstein chops it right side. Profar up with it. 1 down in the 5th. So this Curacao team has a chance to win via the run rule for the 2nd time in 4 games in this tournament. It was a 10-0 victory over Australia in 5 innings on Tuesday. And 2 more outs to get to regain the throne.
I don't know how this one missed him. I mean, goodness. Like it went right through the ear hole.
That was incredible. Carter Gill hooks this one on the ground and into left field past the diving Marta. Heck of a bid by the Curacao shortstop, but it's a 1-out single for New Jersey.
Right here, you don't really like your spot, and then you find out just how quickly you can react. That ball is destined for his helmet, and somehow Gill got out of the way.
So New Jersey picks up its third hit. And a strike from Rosina, who has gotten ahead of basically everybody today. He has pounded the strike zone. Hit in the air towards right center. Winkler. Out number 2. One out to get for Curacao. Aiden Ryder, the last chance for New Jersey. This is the 8th championship game that Curacao has participated in, and they're trying to become champs for the 3rd time. Boy, he sure looks confident. A wave and a miss. 1-1.
Ryder has not had any answers for Rosina in this ball game, as that ball just been dancing all over the place.
High and away for ball 2. It has been a tremendous ride for New Jersey getting to this point. They have lost only one time in their 18 games on their road here to Easley, as Ryder fouls that off himself. New Jersey had a 12-2 win in the U.S. final yesterday. That also saw the run rule take effect. But they're down to their final strike, with the Curacao fans cheering on their team.
Rosina has nowhere to be. He is. This is called soaking in the moment, I think.
Grounded right side. Profar has it to first. And Curacao captures the crown here at the Senior League World Series. For the 3rd time ever, Curacao champions of the Senior League, as they absolutely steamroll through the 2023 Senior League World Series.
And congratulations to the boys from Curacao. What a performance, an offense that we will not soon forget. A dominant performance offensively as I can remember in this tournament. Double digits in every game they played. 7 in the first, kind of took the drama out of it. 14 hits, 14 runs, and Kevin Rosina was phenomenal on the mound today. Just a complete performance by this team.
That puts a bow on our coverage for the week. Curacao comes out on top in the 2023 Senior League World Series. For our entire outstanding production crew, and for my partner, Chris Burke, I'm Jim Kane saying so long from Easley, South Carolina. And thanks so much for tuning in to the Senior League World Series.